Good evening, all. Anyone want to say hi? Hey, Jim. Hey, Tim. Tim and Jim. Jim and Tim, Tim and Jim. How are we today? What's up? I see you did a video, Tim, on filters. Hi, Josh. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but I didn't know you smoked filters. Morning, Stephen. I'm going to be smoking the Soren Refberg brandy, and in it, I'm smoking some Christmas Cheer 2017. And unusually for me, I'm pretty much filling the bowl to the top. And the reason why I'm doing that is because I'm trying to bust through this pipe. At the moment, I'm not getting good smokes out of it. Flavors are not good. I mean, they're not terribly bad, but they're not good. And it just needs to be smoked. It just needs to be smoked. Hey, Razvan. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, Tim. I wish you better. A bit of ibuprofen will sort you out, hopefully. And I really do want to sort of break this pipe in and make it submit to my will, because it's a nice looking pipe. It's got nice dimensions. And David Dixon, good evening, how are you? And I really want it to be a regular smoker. It's got a nice shape. It's attractive, it's got a nice... Pipes and Spirits is in the house. And Tree is here, of course. So we're just going to light it up. You have no painkillers, how come? I would have thought after that nasty bang on your head a few weeks back you'd have had some. Pipes and bees. Pipes and spirits and pipes and bees. Exactly, David, which is why I really want to break it in. But so far, it hasn't been behaving. You know, with all these fancy lighters, sometimes you just got to get your Bic out. Hey, Crosby's Corner is in the house. And these, you know, all these fancy tampers as well. Just go back to basics. They work the best. Fella's in the house too tonight. Yeah, I agree with you, Tim. I also generally try to keep away from medication as much as possible, but if I need it, I take it. But I'm really quite... I'm really quite careful. I really do try not to take medication if I can help it. Hello, Big B Piper, how are we doing? Tonight we're smoking the Soren Refberg brandy, and it's pretty much full to the top because I'm trying to crack through its stubborn behaviour. So far it hasn't been giving me pleasant flavours, and smoking some Christmas Cheer 2017, which has got a robust enough flavour, so hopefully that will help break through. I got a message from YouTube actually the other day saying that messaging was stopping, and I wanted to give that a nice round of applause. I found the YouTube messaging so useless. Stephen, that long, big sledgehammer pipe that you got from Tree, is that a ROP? See, I'm getting the McLaren flavour through, but I'm also getting a little bit of a bitterness. They are. How many did you get, Stephen? I saw you got 2 pipes. They both ROPs. Well, Messenger rather seems to work pretty well. I enjoy using Messenger, and IG direct messaging works pretty well. I prefer IG because it's just a little bit more straightforward. The big sledgehammer one looks like a ROP. San Cristobal. That sounds like some Cuban cigars there, Phil. Yeah, saw that. How is it? I've always wondered how those stems are. It's just wood, isn't it, that rounds off at the end, at the head. There isn't a stem as such, is there? Like a bit. I've always wondered how that is in the mouth. I think Izzy, Happy Go Lucky Piper, smokes one as well. One of those wizard pipes. I think he's got a Vaughan. So I was reading an interesting article by GLPs, Gregory Pease, about you're thinking of dabbling in cigars, Big V Piper. Any suggestions? Well, I'm mostly a Cuban cigar smoker, and I'm guessing that you're in the USA, which might make that a little bit difficult. Although plenty of people seem to be able to get them if they want to. Wow, 15 ROPs, interesting. But I guess that initially, if you haven't really smoked cigars very much, you'd probably want to start off with some Connecticut style cigars. Some strong recommendations based on the ones I've had. I'm sure there's plenty. There's probably hundreds and hundreds of other blends out there, cigar blends that you could get. But based on the limited experience that I've had with non-Cubans, I'd certainly point you in the direction of Undercrown Shade. A very nice, smooth, easygoing cigar. Also the Monte Cristo White series, I found that quite smooth. Leaf by Oscar, the Connecticut's. Those are worth looking at. What else have I had? A lot of the Arturo Fuentes, the straight down the line ones. Very nice, easygoing smokes. Paul the Scandinavian is in the house. I'll type them in so you've got them there. You can read them afterwards. Big V. Hi, Scandinavians. So I've got Leaf by Oscar, Undercrown Shade, Monte Cristo White Series, Arturo Fuente. I find the, no, not Bolivar, funny man. You want something to start off with, not something to knock him dead. Hey. I think the Oliva, I'm really, in terms of Oliva, I've smoked a fair few of the Serie V's, the regular Serie V's and the Milanos. I have not smoked a lot of the Serie O and the Serie other alphabets, other letters. But I think the Serie O that I've had was very nice, actually, quite smooth. So perhaps a Series O. Serie O. Would you support that, Tim? Because I've noticed you've had a fair few of the Olivas. Can't you get them from Germany at all, Paul? Nicht. Oh, that's surprising. You can get them in the UK, but you pay a lot more. Has the Danish Pipe Shop got any levers? I haven't noticed them there. I don't generally buy cigars from them, but they're not the cheapest. But the place to get them from really is in America. And since he's in America, you shouldn't have any problem. 4 Noggins, Boswell's, and probably hundreds and hundreds of other cigar shops in America. Yeah, do. Which website did you buy from, Razvan, in Germany? I'll be honest with you, with the odd exception, Cuban cigars, they've all got their own flavour, but you know, they're all good and they're all pretty similar but different at the same time. So they've all got their own flavour. From what I've heard from people, 20, 30 years ago, they were really very different. But now it's all Habanos SA, it's all the same company really, with just slightly different variations in the blending. So yes, whilst they do have similar flavours, they also do have slight differences. One of the first cigars that I bought from America was La Gloria Cubana Serie N, which is I think it's a Dominican, can't remember. Yes, you can get Cubans in Canada, but they're very expensive, very, very expensive. The tax in Canada is nuts, similar to England really. If you want to know the Canadian prices, I don't think they're allowed to, I don't think you can find them online, because I don't think they're allowed to sell online. They've got some serious anti-tobacco laws there. But if you know Ben Unicorn Piper, get in touch with him in Canada and he can give you more info. And there are plenty of people on IG who are selling in America. You just have to be prepared to pay for it. And also, for the most part, I think you have to be prepared to buy a box. So that's going to cost a fair bit. So anyway, talking about breaking in this pipe, I was reading this article by Gregory Pease in the Pipes and Tobacco magazine, which I now get from the Danish Pipe Shop, and they charge about double the value to give me the pleasure of reading it. So the most recent one, where is it? Don't know what I've done with it. Anyway, so this was winter 2018, so I guess that's, I'm just not sure which one it was in. Anyway, so Gregory Pease wrote an article about his pipes, and he says that over the years he's had around 4,000 pipes pass through his hands, whether he has them or has passed them on, but in total around 4,000 pipes. And he says that every so often he comes across a pipe which is very stubborn. And he talks about an old Sheraton pipe, an old Sheraton Bulldog which he had, which no matter how many times he smoked, he couldn't get a decent smoke out of it. It wasn't bad, it just wasn't good. And he said in his younger days he used to have a guy who hung out with him, and his tip for him was smoke the hell out of it. And he literally meant smoke it until you break it in. I was reading about another pipe carver in America who his standard method for breaking in a pipe when he got a new pipe was to smoke a McClelland, I think Virginia number 27, smoked it for 3 weeks straight every day, and then after 3 weeks he would set it down and let it rest for a while, and then when he came back to it, I don't know after how long, maybe a week or two, I don't know, then he'd come back to it and it would be perfect. I've not tried that before. But I'm thinking of certainly, don't know about 3 weeks straight, but certainly I'm thinking of really giving this pipe a good going over. Something like that, Josh, yeah. The only problem with it is that if I do that, I'll run out of McClellan tobacco, which I really don't want to do. But 4,000 pipes, seriously. Whew. Yeah, I've got no idea where I could get some of that. So, I'm looking forward to the UK Pipe Show, which is happening in a couple of weeks. Yes, it is made in Poland these days. That's true. So the UK Pipe Show is on the 24th, is it? It's on a Sunday in a couple of weeks. 24th of June. And at the moment, it's the only entry on my diary. So things are looking up. Now hopefully I'll still be able to get there. Because the last 2 years I've tried and not managed. And what I'm planning on doing is opening some vintage tins. So hopefully we'll be able to share some bowls with some of our friends, some of whom are on here, like Stephen, Tim, Chris, and so I'm going to hopefully be opening that big tin of half and half, and I'm also going to bring with the various McClellan tins that I've got. Sorry, not McClellan, McBaron. So I've got this Burley. I've got this Club Blend roll cut. And then we've got this Harmony. And from what I understand, these are all from the 70s. So we're talking about nearly 50 years old. And I think it'll just be cool to open it and share it with good friends. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking forward to meeting you both, Tim, Stephen. Yep, I've used I Habanas. They're probably my go-to online Cuban cigar purveyor. I've used them a good number of times. And what I would say is this: if you haven't used them before, the first couple of times it might take you a few weeks. So when you do your order, they're quite cautious with the financial side of things, in my experience. So my first order, it took about 3 or 4 weeks till it got to me. But after that, because I think they wait till the money processes and there's no callbacks on the money and stuff like that with the credit card companies. They're always very wary of credit card fraud. And since then, I usually get them within 7 to 10 days. Always well packed, good condition. The only thing, well, I don't know I Habanas what their shipping record is to the USA, but what I will tell you is that they do write on the box cigars. So on the odd occasion, it does get cheers, Big V, enjoy your grandkids. So what I would say is that you just have to be aware of that. I don't know how it works in the USA, if they just slap a tax bill on it and let you have it, or they confiscate it. I don't know what the rules are in the USA. Here, if it's declared as cigars, they'll let you have it, but you'd have to pay the tax. But I would say, in my experience, 9 times out of 10, it's got through without any problems. I think the money side of things is based in Hong Kong, but they're actually shipped from Switzerland, if I'm not mistaken. So although Switzerland is not an EU, it's an independent country, for some reason they let packages come through 9 times out of 10. And that's interesting, Martin. So I think you're lucky there. And I don't know how it works in the USA, but I think I've only had once a package stopped from I Havanas. I was very lucky right in the beginning when I first started with I Havanas. I mean, I've been using them for about 18 months, maybe a bit more. Yeah, they're legit. I Havanas are legit, no question. I would certainly endorse them from that point of view. So when I first bought from them, I was very lucky. My first ever purchase, and I think that video is still on very early on in my channel, I bought Monte Cristo number 2s, the Pyramides. Yes, I agree with you, Paul. It will get stricter. So that first box of Monte Cristo number 2s, I ordered it in either 2016 or 2017, I don't remember. And when I got them, they turned out to be a box from either 2014 or 2015, I don't remember. So it already had a couple of years on it. And they were absolutely delicious. I cherished them and made them last as long as possible. The next 1 or 2 that I got from them were okay, but then I got a box of 10s of Partagas D4s. Now the D4 is a classic cigar. It's loved the world over. One of the highest selling cigars in the world. And I got those in, and they were absolutely raw. I mean, they were really fresh, and I just stuck. I can't remember if I tried one or not, but I stuck it in the humidor, came back to it about 1.5 years later, and they were great. They were great. They're not at their best yet, but they're great. The only thing with any of these internet sites is you don't know, you can't ask them what year box you're going to get. That's the only thing. So it's potluck. Sometimes you can get a box with 3 or 4 years on it, and sometimes it's that year. The last thing I bought from them was A. Chapman number 1s, which is a Vitola which I really like. It's almost a Robusto. I think it's a 49 ring gauge or a 48 ring gauge by 5 inch. The first box of those that I had from them was from 2014 or 2015, and again, absolutely delicious. Had such a beautiful bouquet. They were so well aged. They just tasted fantastic. But the next box that I got is 2017, so I haven't touched them. At least 1 to 2 years, yes. I mean, you can smoke some after a year. Hi Dan, how you doing? We're actually on your subject tonight. We're talking about Cuban cigars at the moment, although I'm smoking a pipe at the moment. Oh, cool. So, to be honest with you, I don't really buy many online anymore. I generally buy from a couple of sources on Facebook. There's a guy in Spain. Prices are not the cheapest, but they're a lot better than anything in the UK. They're not as cheap as internet prices, but they're good enough. And I know I've got a pretty strong relationship with them, and I know that he'll send me good stuff. And if there's a problem with it, I can send them back. Yeah, exactly, Phil. That's exactly the point. So sometimes it's better that you pay a little bit more, but you know what you're getting. So these guys that I do buy from now, I will generally know exactly what their cigars are, what year they are, and they'll send me a picture of the cigars as well. They'll open the box and send me the picture of the cigars that I'm going to be getting. So I've built up a really good relationship with two particular sellers, one in Belgium and one in Spain, and they give great service. Let me get there. They're actually on this phone. One of the guys is called Alberto something, and I can't actually. If I go off the thing, the screen might go dead. I'm not sure how it works. But if you email me, I can send you the information. I'll drop you my email address. If you drop me an email, I'll send you the information for the two suppliers that I use. And please do tell them that I recommended you. It's always good to do that. I would have thought so. They don't have websites. They sell virtually the whole gamut of Cuban, of the whole 28 or 29 brands. Maybe not every single brand, but certainly the majority of the brands, and certainly the regular makes. Oh, hang on, no. One of them does have a website, Cigar Shop Lumo. Just search Lumo Cigars, Lumo. There you go. Just search them, and it's called Cigar Shop Lumo. And my contact there is Alberto. Fantastic service, cracking service. They've got some aged cigars, they've got some LCDH cigars, they've got everything, and they've got some non-Cubans as well. Some of the websites out there, like the one in Germany, I can't remember what it's called now, but I find their website extremely difficult to navigate. Yeah, their prices have gone up, it's true. And the prices generally have gone up a bit, and the postal is expensive. So it's really only worthwhile if you're buying a reasonable amount at one time. The postage is about 35 euros, I think. So that's an advantage of some of the internet ones like iHavanas, because they don't charge shipping. But you're at their mercy in terms of what you get. Cheers, Paul. Have a great one. I've still been trying to think of something for my giveaway for you to show us your talents, but I haven't come up with anything yet. Paul. The truth is, internet sites like iHavanas, Mon Plaisir, internet sites like Havanas are unbeatable. If you get a good batch, they're unbeatable. The prices are phenomenal. A box of H. Upmann number ones. Also, they have an offer every month. They have usually about 10 or 20 lines on offer. They're reduced. So if you watch those every month, they come on usually within a day or two of the beginning of each month, and they'll usually lock off a few % off the price. And if you just keep watching those, and you can just build up a collection just buying those. And I think the box of H. Upmann number ones, 25, was like $190. So the dollar being great for us at the moment, you're talking about £150 for a box of 25, which here you'll pay £350 maybe for that, maybe more. So if you're prepared to be patient, Mike Blocker is in the house. How you doing, Mike? Thanks for the pictures earlier. I've got to get back to you on that. That shipping is included, Phil. Yeah, there's no shipping cost for the website. In murder, exactly. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it'll be better to send it as one package after all. I'm not sure. I'm just scared if it got nicked, that's the whole lot gone. Yeah, alright, well, I'll be in touch with you. Thanks, Mike. Have you had any experience, Mike, getting Cuban cigars in the USA? We haven't spoken about Trump for a while. What's his position on Cuba generally? Is he pro or against? Yeah, I think James gets them from the same places I do, Havanas. In fact, I think I got that recommendation from him a long time ago when we first started to get to know each other a bit. Well, that's a shame. What are you baffled about, David? Enjoy Tree. Definitely, Tim. Havanas. If you want to get the cheapest of the cheap, best prices, but you don't. It's definitely worth giving it a go. That's for sure. The cigars you'll get are most likely going to be, within a year, 2017, maybe even 2018. But occasionally you'll be lucky and get something from 2015, 2016. And sometimes they won't be the best. So a lot of the times I would imagine these suppliers, they buy up cheap cigars. So sometimes you might have green wrappers but still got a long way to go till they mature. And some of them won't ever really be as good as they could be. And I suppose, listen, you get what you pay for. So they're buying it in bulk. But it's definitely worth trying, Tim. Phil, I don't know, I saw an interview with one of the CEOs of Habanos SA, and they claimed that they could more than cope with it if the USA were to get into the market. That doesn't mean it's true. I wonder if that would mean prices would go up, or prices would go down, or just stay the same. Yeah, that's. I don't know how they'd handle that. I mean, that's been a discussion for a long time about how they'd handle all of the brands: Cohiba, A. Chapman, Monte Cristo, Partagas, La Glura, Cabana. All of them. They've all got sister brands. In the USA, and the argument is that in actual fact the sister brands are in Cuba and the original brands are in the USA, because Cuba, they just pinch them off the growers at the end of the day. I don't think that's quite right, Dan, but it is definitely a matter of opinion and personal taste. Everybody has different tastes and flavors and preferences, but I think that they will be on a negative learning curve because they used to, for so long, not having Cuban cigars and smoking New World cigars, which have a particular type of flavor to them, that they may find Cuban cigars just too bland and mild, and they may not get the subtleties of a Cuban cigar. Conversely, when I smoke a non-Cuban cigar, to me they're quite brash and brusque and unrefined, and sometimes the peppery ones are too much for me, and I'm not shy of a strong cigar. American palate is different because that's the choices that they have. They don't have a choice. Their palate is different because those are the cigars they have. Again, it's what we're used to. So we're used to Cuban cigars. So our palates are more understanding of Cuban flavors and the subtleties and difference in flavor. You move over from that to a Padron, which is going to blast your palate with flavor, with chocolate and coffee, and you just can't compare it. They're just completely different beasts. In America, certainly, their unicorn smoke is going to be the Cuban cigars because they can't have it. That's, absence makes the heart grow fonder. Good night, Stephen. Oh, wow, Dan. Take me with you, please. Oh, don't start, Tim. 3 humidors is enough. Behikes, Dan, do you want to listen to some advice from a good friend, even though we've never met in person? Me too, Tim, yeah. Well, I would say to you is don't get too, Dan, don't get too hung up on getting Behikes. If I was you, I would, have they? Hang on, sorry guys, I gotta go to Iovan's. Sorry. Excuse me, hang on. I've never seen Behikes available on Iovan's. I forbid you all from going online right now to Iovan's. Just wait there. They do have them. What? $7.97, you can keep them. It's still cheaper than you can buy them. That's a lot of money. Hang on. Yeah, I thought if they'd be really cheap, then yeah, go for it. But they're not cheap. I'm just going to work out what that is in real money, in English money. $7.97. Actually, it's not bad. It's about £600, so £60 a pop. It's not bad. Put it this way: if you were to try and buy a Behike in a retail shop, you pay double that at least. It's not a bad price. It's a fair price. Not a fair price necessarily because it's so good, but it's a fair price for the fact that they're Behikes. and you just pay a stupid amount of money for them. And if you just had to try Behike just to scratch that itch, then it's not a terrible price. But in terms of going to Havana, just the experience, if you're going just for cigars, I'm not sure what you're going to gain. Unless you're really into the whole thing and you want to see it happening, you want to go for tours around the rolling factories, then yeah, for sure. But if you're going literally to buy cigars, I wouldn't bother. I mean, as a tourist attraction, it's a lovely place. You know, people like looking at the old sort of fashioned architecture and the old cars and all of that kind of stuff. For a day, wow. And you'll be going back to where from there? To England or to Israel? To Miami. Well, if you're going to go from Cuba, you're going to get checked. There's no question about it. So you wouldn't be able to take in stacks and stacks. That's a tough one, Tim. A fair price for McClellan's at the moment. The last few tins that I bought, I paid $50 per tin, which was about 36, 37 pounds, which is fairly similar to what we would pay here anyway for a 100-gram tin. So I thought that was a reasonable price. I had to pay the shipping from America, but other than that, I thought that was okay. You know, it depends how desperate you are. And look at this, Cynthia and Susan. Wow. Who's on? Cynthia or Susan or both? Two Rivers folks. Where are you getting them from, Tim? What options have you got? Just happened to get a moment. That's really sweet of you. You can stay for a couple of moments, surely. I'm sure the bunnies will cope without you for just a few minutes. Oh, you want to sell yours? Well, if at that kind of money, I'll certainly take some from you. Please get in touch, and we'll work something out. So how are the bunnies? Stutter? We've had our fair share of rabbits over the years. The last time we had them, well, you know how it goes. You buy them, the kids want them, they go mad. And see you, Dan. Have a good one. At the moment, it's 8 minutes past 1 in the morning, Sunday morning. So we've had our fair share of pets, little pets. We haven't had dogs or anything like that. But we had a cat which we adopted kind of from our next door neighbour. The cat was in our house more than the neighbour's house. It's quite a sad story, actually. One day, it was obviously pregnant, and one day it's decided to go into labour on our couch. And we left it alone. We were quite fond of it, and we didn't want to disturb it. So it had its kittens, but they clearly weren't doing very well. So we took them to the vet, and no, I'm trying to remember now. I think we may have taken it whilst it was in labour because it was struggling, and it seemed to be in pain or something. Can't remember. But we cheers, Phil. It's going back a few years now. We took him to the vet, and the vet said that it had the little kittens. One of them didn't survive, another one did. Or it had 3 kittens and one didn't survive. And anyway, we paid for the whole lot because their neighbour, I don't know, they didn't have money or something. We paid for the treatment. the cats went back to the neighbour and they offered us one of the kittens. But they said, once the kittens are weaned and all of that. But it was very sad. They all died. It was really quite sad at the time. And we ended up going back to the vet, and it turns out that the mother had cancer or something, cat cancer, feline cancer of some kind. It was pretty sad. They ended up all dying, which was very sad. We then had a canary, which was very cute. I really liked it, actually. And that sat in the kitchen in a little cage, a decent sized cage. A really nice yellow canary. Beautiful plumage. And that lasted quite a while. And then one time, good night, Crosby's Corner. We used to let the canary fly around the house every so often, as it's a good idea to let them spread their wings, so to speak. Sorry, I covered the mic there. So we used to let it fly around the house every so often. And for the most part, we always managed to get it back in the cage, or it went back in itself. But one time, we let it fly around, and my wife forgot that it was out of the cage. And she opened the front door, and bang, that's where it was. Good night, Phil. Thanks for joining. So we lost that one. You can see there's a bit of a pattern going on here. It's amazing that my kids are all still in the house, isn't it? Well, one has flown the nest, actually, last week. So that was the end of the canary. Then we had some mice. We had a couple of mice. And that was my oldest son, who's now 25. But when he was little, we had some mice in a cage. I am from London, Martin. So we had these two little mice, very cute little things. And during the summer, we'd leave them outside, the cage outside, on top of the rabbit hutch, in fact. I built a rabbit hutch myself, and a really big one so that they'd have room to move around. And we had the little mouse cage on top of that. And then it must have got cold one night, or without us realising it. And the next morning, we went out looking at the cages, and we couldn't find the mice. And what they'd done is they'd made little nests out of the shredded paper that you put down as bedding. And it's quite amazing how industrious they must have been over one night. They'd made this huge ball, tightly weaved ball of this shredded paper, and they were burrowed right in the middle, in the centre of it, obviously to try and keep warm. We felt very bad about that. Anyway, getting back to the same pattern, one of them had died, and the other one was alive, but only just. So we brought it back inside, we warmed it up, I stroked it and rubbed it and sort of did everything, to try and encourage it. And I got some chocolate and I melted it on the tip of my finger and fed this mouse. And slowly but surely managed to revive it. And it was okay after that. I don't remember what happened in the end with it. But that was really just to give it a burst of energy. And it seemed to work. Then we also had, I'm not necessarily getting this in the correct chronological order, but we also had a little bird, a tiny little chick, which we found on the floor outside the house. Obviously had fallen out of its nest. No wings, it was naked. No hair, no wings, no nothing. It was just a little blob of pink skin with a big fat head and a big eyes, like you see little chicks, what they normally like. And we went to the pet shop to find out what they eat, and they gave us mealworm, and they said take a pair of tweezers and you've got to put it down their throat, like their mother would do with the beak, and sort of put it right down deep into their mouth. So that's what we did. And obviously we had no idea how much and how far we should go. And please don't send me your pets. I think we must have overfed it because that didn't last. It probably got eaten up from the inside by these flipping mealworms. Stop laughing at me. Anyway, so that poor little chick didn't last. It lasted a little bit, but it didn't last too long. I'm afraid so. Okay, and the final one is the rabbits. Sorry, Stutter, you may want to close your ears for this one. So, we had don't worry, it didn't end up as a stew. We had Thumper, was one of them, and I can't remember the other one's name. And we had those quite successfully for a long time. And they were quite domesticated. They'd sit on my lap quite a lot. And they were fine, besides for the stinking mess that they made, that obviously the kids wouldn't do, so I had to do it. I had to clean out the hutch every so often. And the amount of sawdust we went through is ridiculous. Well, the chips, the shavings that you get in the big bag. But I got my back on the kids because I put their droppings in their meat stew for supper, so there you go. They didn't know any difference. Anyway, coming back to the story. One day, we went on holiday. So, we enlisted a neighbour, a good friend of ours, to come and feed them, which he did. And that was all fine. We come back from holiday 2 weeks later, and no rabbits. The door of the hutch was open, and no rabbits. We have no idea what happened to them, they just disappeared. Now, the theory is that the neighbour perhaps one day forgot to lock it, or something like that, or some foxes got in, we don't know. But either way, we never saw them again. But at least on that occasion I can say it wasn't my fault. Well, maybe it ended up in the neighbour's stew, I don't know. But I still have some fish. I still have a nice tropical tank downstairs, which we cut out of the chimney breast. I guess so, Tim, unless it carried it off somewhere. I don't know how clever foxes are, if they're able to unlock things. I'm trying to remember what lock we had on it, if it was a... Oh, I took these tins out because we've got the UK Pipe Show coming up. So I was going to take these with to share, to open them. These are vintage tins from the 70s. Roll cut from McLaren Harmony, which I think is a light aromatic, and burley. Basically, I want to take some tins along which people won't have been able to try for a long time. Just thought it would be good fun. I've mentioned you quite a few times, Stutter, because of this. I still use this every single day. This comes with me in the car every day. You remember this? Can't say the same for you guys. If you use my pipes that I sent you, I keep my plaid pouch, which has got London Fog in it. And at the moment I've got, this is the Tom Phillips Bulldog. Yes, I've noticed. I've noticed that you're more about Jeeps and the Aurora than smoking pipes. Well, if you ever decide to part with them, the Dunhill Don, I'll have that. Thank you very much. Hey, Quaker, do you smoke at all anymore, Cynthia or Susan, or are you done with that? I could see Cynthia getting into vaping. No? Yeah? Oh, hi, Cynthia. Once every 3 to 4 months. Wow. So you're not really smoking a pipe anymore. Not regularly, anyway. You haven't tried vaping at all? Life got busy. Good for you. How are the knees? Are you back to full strength? Dipping tobacco, I don't know what that is. Excuse my ignorance. Do enlighten us. How you doing, Quaker? What's news? What you up to? I'm in the process of smashing the guts out of this pipe because it's not behaving, and I'm taking a leaf, excuse the pun, out of Gregory Pease's book and smoking the hell out of it to get it to submit to my whim. Smoking some 2017 Christmas cheer. All right. Is that like snus? Is that the same kind of thing? Ugh. You're grossing me out. And what's his name? He's majorly into snus these days. He's got another channel. Come on, what's his name? Something 83, 81, 83. Somebody's going to know who I'm talking about. Yeah, these little bags. What's his name? He hasn't done a pipe video in years. What, McClellan's Christmas cheer 2017? Tree? Oh, cool. How do you compare it to the 40th anniversary? That pipe smoker who I was talking about who's gone on to the snooze, one of you guys must remember who he is. He sits in a rocking chair, has his little daughter come in every so often. He hasn't been on for a while though. Cynthia, you must know who it was. '40th is definitely better, I agree with you. Speaking of, wow, 1999, that's very cool. Do you remember this one, Cynthia? That is the same tin you sent me in that same package. And I hated the stuff until I got into filter pipes, and now I can't get off it. I'm smoking McClellans all the time. This is 2014. Yeah, you sent me that. Yeah, it's good stuff. Feel free to send me some of the 99. I won't be averse to getting a package from Stata, and I'll send you one back, of course. I'm sure the sweets I sent you didn't last as long as the tobacco that I got from you. I think it was around Hanukkah time. I remember you posting some pictures of your menorah. You got any plans for the summer, Cynthia? Going anywhere nice with the Jeep? Lunchy 83, thank you, Tim. That's Wayne. Lunchy 83. He's a big Virginia lover, although I don't think he smokes pipes very much. One of his favourite tobaccos was Elizabethan and Yacht. What's it called? From Dunhill? Dunhill something Yacht. Royal Yacht. But I never got into those. I should really try them again since I've gone into Virginias. I tried them early on, but I never enjoyed them. In fact, I think I've still got some in a little jar somewhere, but I don't know if it's still in good condition. Really nice guy, Wayne. I miss his videos. There's a lot of people actually who have gone off that we haven't seen. I don't know, Cynthia. I haven't tried it in a long time, Royal Yacht. Amy Mack is one. I haven't seen Amy Mack in months. Long time. Obviously a conscious decision to stay out of the YTPC for whatever reason. Has anybody gone for any of Danny Shaw's pipes that Sue Dunhill's been selling? There seems to be quite a swell of support for Danny. He's had some medical issues. I don't know. He's had an operation, a brain operation, some brain surgery, and you can tell when he's talking sometimes that his memory goes. But he's had some brain surgery, and Ben the Bagged Piper, he's running a raffle at the moment. And the last I heard about Ethan was he was doing pretty good. I came across him in a live chat somewhere a while back, but he seemed to be fine. So Ben the Bagged Piper. So Ben the Bagged Piper has got a bunch of stuff which people have donated and he's donating, and he's doing a raffle. I've offered him a decent stash of tobacco, including an 8-ounce bag of Esoterica, but I'm not clear how he's doing it, because I really want my tobaccos to make a difference, to raise him some money, but he I don't know, he sent me a message to say that he'll let me know who the winner is and I should send it straight to the winner. But if people are not going to know about it, then it's not going to generate more income. So he says he's going to do a video about it, an update video, so I hope he does. But if there isn't a good chance of my tobacco generating extra income, then I'll just sell it off myself and give him the proceeds. I want to make sure he gets... I bought a bunch of tobacco from him recently to help him out as well. Yeah, he's a nice guy, Danny. Mike, if you're still on, that batch is from him. That's a batch he put up for sale. All right. Hi, Mike. I hope you're having a good time. You've got good weather where you are. I tell you what, it's a real chore smoking through this pipe at the moment. Yes, yeah, she is selling a whole load of his pipes. Yes, I was wondering if anybody's actually gone and bought any. It's a shame. I'm kind of in two minds about carrying on smoking McClellans in this. Can anybody else recommend what I can do to get the flavours improving on this pipe? Mike, we were talking about Danny Shaw. Hey. Why the name change? Okay. I would, but I don't think any of them are going to be filtered pipes. And although the prices are amazing, you know, between 10 and 25 bucks, it's for nothing really. And coming from Danny, they should be in good condition. Yeah, I hope so. Nice guy, Danny. These cigar ashtrays you have to order. These were made by Jason Bruno, and on IG he goes as on YouTube he goes as Jason Bruno, but he hasn't had any videos for a long time. I got in touch with him a few days ago actually. He's been really busy, so he hasn't really posted much. And his IG page is 304 Woodworks, and it's spelt like this. With an E for works, not an O. But he's a great guy, but he's often doing other stuff. I'm not sure if this is his main income or not. Presumably he's got a job. That goes for a lot of the carvers out there who are carving pipes or tampers and this kind of thing. It's kind of a sideline. So you're better off. It is a very nice ashtray. It actually comes with a knocker as well, which fits in there. This is magnetic, and there's a cork knocker which fits in there. Let's see if I've got it to hand. Shift everything out of the way. There it is. So that's the knocker, and it just goes in there. And you've got a pipe tray. It's a great little ashtray. It wasn't the cheapest thing in the world. It wasn't the most expensive thing in the world. But I make very good use of it. I use it every day. I think I paid about $90 for it. Maybe a bit more even. Yeah, he does lots of different finishes. There's two types of wood here. It's a bit dirty at the moment, but when I clean it every so often, it looks fantastic. And he puts in some copper shavings as well, which he glues in there, and it just looks really nice. And it's a piece, you know. It's something which you sit on your desk and you can enjoy it for years. I would certainly recommend it. But what I would say, what I was trying to say before, is that buy one from him when he puts one up for sale, rather than ordering, because he seems to be quite a busy guy, and if you order, sometimes you can have it ready in a day or two, and sometimes you can wait weeks and weeks. I waited a long time for this one. So he used to post stuff for sale all the time. I actually sent one to somebody. I ordered one and had them send it to, I think it was Ben, Unicorn Piper. I had one made and sent it off to Ben, going back a while. But he doesn't seem very active at the moment, Jason. I think it's almost time for a cigar. The pipes sit in it very, very well. I can get 3 pipes in there, no problem. I used to use it in the beginning more for pipes than cigars, believe it or not. So the pipes go in there very well. Well, this bowl is pretty much done. Well, we motored through that quite quickly. It took about an hour for that bowl. It was a full bowl of Christmas Cheer 2017. Okay, so I've actually got to sort through my humidors. I'm a bit all over the place at the moment because I've got quite a few started boxes in my bigger humidor, well, the Frigidor. And what I tend to do is I've got a small desktop Frigidor which I keep my day-to-day cigars, although I'm smoking cigars a lot less than I used to. So it's a bit harder to get to some of the ones in the other fridge. You know, I have to start reorganising it. And I quite fancy a cigar from lower down, and it's just a hassle to get to them. But I've got to say that since I've been smoking the McClelland tobaccos, that I haven't felt the need. You know, you'll have heard me in the past talking about finding a blend that really gives me the satisfaction of a cigar, and I've really found that in McClelland's. I really, really have. So Tim, if you're still on, let's have that deal. I'm going to have a quick look in the humidor, if you'll excuse me for a second, see what I can find. Unless you guys want to come along with. Cheers, Tim. Just give me a minute while I get to my humidor. My room here is quite small, so there's always stuff around everywhere. Well, I'm not into the Balkans at the moment. I had some Balkan Sobrano which I sold to Stephen. What age are they? And which Esotericas have you got? I don't know if you guys remember this Tapador which I had. It was pretty full the last time I showed it. This is from my small Frigidor. And that's what's left. It's now really down to the bottom. And these plastic ones are my specials, which I've just kept it in there to save room, save space. That's a Behike. This is the Fundadoras, the Trinidad Fundadoras, which was pre-2003 with the old band. That's a Partagas Presidente, which is it's a 2017 or 16. It's not that old. I just want to keep it safe, so it's in one of those. And this is a Hunters and Franco 225. This is the Anniversaro Ramon Ayones, which they gave out on their 225th anniversary in 2015. And I was gifted this actually by the Cuban Cigar Club because it had some damage on the foot. That's that. But otherwise, nothing. Okay, there's a couple of Cubas in there. Maybe we'll have one of those. But otherwise, it's all the small ones. The little Medio Monte Cristo Medio Coronas. A couple of regionals, French regional. This one I still haven't smoked. I got this from a friend. Draconian, it's called. Recluse Draconian. Really interesting shape. It's like an oval shape. Flat and oval. But it needs a lot of time, and I'm just not that into non-Cubans that I want to dedicate that amount of time to that one, to be honest. This is a year of the Rooster Davidoff, which I've yet to smoke. I think this is 20... when is this? Either 16 or 17, I don't remember. But Eddie Sahakian told me to buy it, so I did. It wasn't cheap, it was about 40 odd quid, 45 quid. Epi number 2. La Traviata, non-Cuban, I don't know what that is. This is a custom roll, which was sent to me by, was it Jim? smells good. And this one was sent to me by the Spanish supplier that I spoke about earlier, Castamol Pyramides, which is supposed to be a Cuban. But my experience with the custom rolls haven't been great. I got some custom rolls which came from Friends of Havana, is it? The guy from Australia. And I smoked them, and I could have sworn that they were non-Cubans. They tasted so peppery. Just did not taste Cuban at all. And these Cohibas, I'm not sure how old they are. Perhaps we'll have one of those. Alright, let's put this back. Oops. Mic is still attached. Mic's still attached. No, I'm going to change my mind. I'm not going to risk that Cohiba. I don't think they're ready yet. Okay guys, sorry about that, I'm back. Cheers Cynthia, really fantastic to speak to you again. Hope to hear from you soon. Give my regards to Susan and to the bunnies. So we're going to smoke a White Churchill from 2012. Well, what you saw there was not boasting or anything, but that was just one container from my humidor. Really nice sweet cedar, drawers wide open. No, we can't be using that cigar lighter. There we go. I use this one for cigars generally. The DuPont knockoff. The Ping machine. You should make one that goes pong. You can play ping pong. Patience is a virtue. Could just blast it with a jet lighter, but it's all part of the ritual. Okay. Found a copy of the World Encyclopedia of Cigars by Julian Holland from 1999. Yours if you want it, Simon. Wow, that is really nice of you. Yeah, why not? Absolutely. Your house must be a treasure trove, an Aladdin's cave. Judging by the stuff that you send out. I shall send you some 40th anniversary. How about that? I finished my tin the other day, so I'm going to have to open another tin. It is empty. So I'm going to have a deal with Tim, and I'll get some more of that, and I shall send you some. Cheers, Tim. I'm just reading your email now, and I'll definitely take the 40th anniversary. I'll look up what British Woods is all about. I'm not sure what that is. Frogmorton and On the Bayou, I'm not mad into them, to be honest, but I'll definitely take the 40th, and I'll get back to you. Anyway, I'll get back to you on all of it, and we'll work it out. Thanks, Tim. I'm surprised you don't like the British Woods, Tim, after your Oriental. I thought you liked the Oriental, that stuff you sent me. What's it called? Oriental something? Bombay Extra. I can see it's a Latakia Oriental, Turkish and Virginia. Are you off then, Mike? Cheers, Mike. Thanks very much. Have a great evening, and we'll be in touch, no doubt. Enjoy your holiday. That's fair enough, Tim. You've got any Virginia Woods there, Tim? I don't remember if you had any or not, or do you not want to sell it? Good night, Quaker. Yeah, I'll take that as well, Tim. I'll email you back, don't worry. Thanks. Have a good night. I hope your headache's gone after having a nice chat. Nighty night, Tim. Alright, people, should we call it a day? Or anybody got anything they want to talk about? Tree, you're going to car boot tomorrow? I'm not surprised your house looks like an Aladdin's cave. this particular one is not tasting as good as they usually do. Alright, well, happy hunting. Hope you find something good. Well, I wish you all a fantastic morning. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. So, thank you, Tim. Thank you, Pipe Tree. Thank you, Quaker, who's gone. Thank you, Mike, who's gone. The Puffing Alien. Stutter. Sai City. Sai City, if you want to email me the details, my email is on there somewhere. I've already typed it in there. I can type it in again for you if you're still on. Whoever else was on, I wish you all a fantastic night, pipes and bees. And I will catch you on the next one. Cheers, Jim. Oh, cheers, Tree. Cheers, Razvan. Tree, who are you going over to now so I can copy you? Who's on live? Who else is on? Anyone else on live at the moment? It's early days and I've run out of stuff to say tonight, so... Razvan, what are you smoking this evening? Oh, you're in bed. Cool. Well, I guess we all need to get some sleep. But I had a little kick this afternoon. Alright, all. Good night. Have a great one. Catch you on the next one.